Call on Miss Susan Mabry for roll call.
Chairman Marty Smith.
Here.
Vice Chairman Vicki Anderson. Here. Commissioner Montrell McClendon.
Here.
Commissioner Michelle Morgan. Here. Commissioner Tommy Lee, I missed you, sorry.
Here.
Commissioner Lee Powers.
Here.
Commissioner George Chambers.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll go to items 3 and 4. We're going to ask Commissioner Lee Powers to give an invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Miss Vicki Anderson.
Let us pray. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. And dear Lord, thank you for each and every one that came today, dear Father. Dear Lord, I just want to thank you for Carroll County and what it means to each and every one of us. And dear Father, just please be with us and help us make the right decisions that you would have us to do, dear Father. Dear Father, I want to thank you for giving me salvation, dear Lord, and what you did on the cross for us, dear Father. And dear Lord, just please be with our servicemen, men and women, as they're in other places and not at home, dear Father. Just put a hedge of protection around them, and we are sure to ask everything in our most precious Savior's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move to item number 6, approval of the minutes. We have the work session, we got the approval of tonight's agenda. Look for a motion from the board.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Now item number 6, approval of the minutes. We have the work session meeting minutes from April 24th, 2018, the commission meeting minutes from May 1st, 2018, and the budget work session meeting minutes from May 8th, 2018. Look for a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? This time, item 7 is public comments. No public comments. We're moving into item 8, financial session. We're going to call on Lehman Stevens, Finance Director, for a financial recap for April 2018.
All right, thank you, Chairman. Our April 2018 revenue year-to-date was $43,789,762. Which is 88% of the budgeted revenues for the year. This compares to April 2017 year-to-date of $41,880,000, which is an increase for the year over the prior year of $1,908,000. The expenditures, the April year-to-date for the general fund totaled $39,243,000, which is 79% of the budgeted expenditures. The March 2017 year-to-date was $39,036,000, so that's an increase of $206,000. On April the 30th, 2018, the general fund balance was $14,702,000 compared to the prior year of $11,902. The general fund cash on April 30th, 2018 is $15,682,037, and that's an increase over the prior year of $1.9 million, and the cash at April 30th is approximately 116 days of operating cash.
So those were millions instead of thousands.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Lehman? Seeing none, we'll move to item 8.2, the FY19 budget resolution. We'll call on Lehman Stevens, Finance Director, again.
All right, the resolution and ordinance is to provide for the appropriations and expenditures of all the funds for the Carroll County government for the fiscal year, which will begin July 1, 2018 and end June 30th, 2019. The general fund is a balanced budget with revenues and expenditures totaling $50,263,500. The total of all the special revenue funds amounts to $4,676,150. The budget for the SPLOST Debt Service Fund is $7,656,150, and the Solid Waste Enterprise Fund budget is $3,189,180. The resolution also calls for the addition of one full-time position and elimination of one part-time position for human resources, addition of two full-time positions for inside correctional officers beginning in January 1, 2019, and addition of one full-time position for the Date Special Revenue Fund, and addition of one full-time position and elimination of one part-time position for the Solid Waste Enterprise Fund.
What's the date?
That is really the drug court. It's through Judge Hightower. And Vicki, if you will remember in the work session on Thursday, that was not in the we didn't have that when we did the original, but it came in, and it is totally funded by a grant from the state.
Okay. And these positions, when it says one full-time position and elimination of one part-time, did that part-time person go to that full-time position?
Yes.
In both circumstances?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions for Lehman? Not, look for a motion from the board.
Make a motion to approve?
Motion and second. Now any discussion?
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I would like to withdraw my request from last Thursday, much to my disappointment and many in the room here, but there are way too many questions at this point to ask for funding for the regional library system. I believe that we can get this taken care of by hopefully our next meeting.
So what are you asking?
I'm not asking you for anything.
She'll be, the request be to approve budget as requested
Yes.
here, with no
Okay.
amendment.
No amendment.
And then we'll discuss it later?
In
Or no
July,
amendment
yes.
for this? Okay.
So item 8.2 is presented as stated. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Item 8.3, transportation purposes for T-Splost. We will call on County Attorney Stacy Blackman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. You have before you a list of proposed projects that we would include in the intergovernmental agreement that's required for the T-Splosh. So we have some general projects and purposes as listed in the statute. You don't have to vote on this tonight. It's going to be in your intergovernmental agreement that you'll consider next month. But if you have any comments or questions, if you can get those to me, so we can have the list the way you want it for that agreement.
Any questions tonight on items 8.3? Point of information is simply that we do not have to vote.
Correct.
Any questions? Seeing none from the board, we'll move to item 8.4, Carroll County Transit Contract. We'll call on Pabiel.
She could not be here, so I'm going to represent her. This is just to renew the contract from last year with the update of the new dollar amount of $35,000 to provide public transportation services within the county for the fiscal year of 2019. This is standard, same thing we did last year, just the newer dollar amount.
Okay. Look for a motion from the board.
Make a motion to approve?
Motion and second. Now any discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you, Commissioner Morgan. Item 8.5, the FY 2019 Liability and Risk Management Insurance Bid. We call on Gerald Pilgrim.
Commissioners, this is the renewal for our property and casualty insurance that we have. Same as we discussed last week, that we did have two bids from two local agents who presented two excellent companies. There are some differences in the policies, but they came in on a $640,000 quote, which is less than last year, $140,000 less than last year. They're $254 apart. And both of them are J. Smith Lanier and Carroll Realty Insurance, so they both did an excellent job. But we are recommending to go with J. Smith Lanier. They were the $254 less. We've had good experience with them over the years, and they've also offered some other coverages that we talked about last week with some fire training and a few things like that that we'll be looking at in the new budget.
Look for a motion from the board.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Second.
Motion to accept the bid,
Jason- from
Jason
Jason
Lanier
Lanier.
bid with the liability insurance. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I would like to just mention this for next year
Yes, ma'am.
before we vote. In the future, there needs to be specific amounts by each of the categories that are broken down, because on J. Smith Lanier, it says this is included, this is included, this is included. So there's really no way to compare it to the other Carroll Realty bid.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
So that needs to be done. We also need to get it before June the 5th for next year, because it starts July the 1st. So we need to be discussing this earlier in the year so that we can have some input, other than the last minute of having to, I mean, I know it's a lower bid, but we,
Sure.
you know. And the other thing, that the categories are not the same on both of the bids in all categories. So it's not comparing apples and apples, and that needs to be the same in order to be comparable.
The bids, just so you, this is what I mentioned last week, that if we wanted to sit down, the board wanted to sit down and go through it line by line, I do have the bids, and we went through it line by line. We compared apples and apples. That was the recommendation. So that was what, I did mention that last Thursday night, that if y'all would like to sit there, that was free, but glad to go through it and give you the broken down detail. So we do have more detail. We always provide it. Traditionally, with property and casualty insurance, you could look at it with about a month earlier and try to, but usually that's what most, having come out of the commercial insurance business, usually about a month before the renewal is pretty standard in the industry.
Right. But the one thing we didn't look at this time was, we didn't look at some things like vehicles and some things that we didn't discuss. So, but what I'm saying is, I know that you've gone line by line, but the information that you give us doesn't match. I mean, the wording, like one has terrorism, the other one doesn't say anything about terrorism.
And those are broad terms that are included in other things. So those are things that we're, as much as the board would like to have on the information, we can inundate the board with stuff that we do go through to make sure it is an apples and apples quote.
Right.
So we're prepared. Yeah, that would be something that if the board chooses to want to go through that, we're more than welcome and spend a couple hours to go through it in a work session with you on line by line.
Well, I think we just need to discuss vehicles and things like that next year, earlier in the year for the budget
The vehicles
planning.
were quoted by both companies, quoted the exact same numbers of vehicles. That's the main thing is, in discussion of vehicles and things like that is what was off of our fleet policy, which is, Lehman has that. We actually have a copy that was provided to them that we have, that we give them everything. So anything that y'all want on numbers, I mean, that's an easy give to you.
Does this include the new transit buses?
This would not include those new transit buses, because at the renewal, we did not have those when they were coming in. So those are going to be added new to the fleet. They will go up. I think we estimate the insurance included that is going to be about $1,100 a year per vehicle. So, and those are numbers that are reflected in our liability, where we actually have money in our line item in the budget to cover that y'all approved.
Okay. I'm just saying, when you get, you know, here we are 15 days or whatever, we're that many days before the new budget, and, you know, I know it's
Again,
lower
as
and
much as the
everything.
board wants to get into, we're more than glad to give you as much detail as y'all want.
Yeah, no, I think it's budget planning, so, thank you.
Motion and second. Now, any further discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you, and Gerald and Lehman. Item 8.6, Correctional Institute, the capacity agreement, is Warden Jones. I don't see him here. Stacy, you want to comment on the standard capacity agreement?
Yes, this is a standard capacity agreement that we have to enter into with the Correctional Institute. I've reviewed it, and it looks in order.
Okay, we'll look for a motion from the board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Item 8.7, Lehman provided us with a sheet on the employee bonus plan. We gave out, we'll look for a motion for the board on it.
Make a motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second. Now, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Now we'll move into the business session, item number 9. Items 9.1, it's been requested we table that one for the Cappy appointment. We're still working on it. Item 9.2, the appointment to Family and Children's Services, we're gonna table item 9.2. We'll move to item 9.3, appointments to the Library Board. Clint Chance and Jamie Whidden have been approved. Does anybody else have any other considerations? If not, we'll look for motion from the board.
I'll make them, go ahead.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have motion and second. Now, any discussion? Seeing none from the board, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Keep Clint busy.
Item 9.4 has been tabled. District 6 Commissioner is still working on it as well as item 9.5. He has made progress on those, but we're gonna be tabling those two items as well. We'll move to item 9.6, Appointment Pathway Center Community Board. Major David Jordan with the Sheriff's Department has agreed to serve in Wheeling again. We'll look for a motion from the board or any other nominations.
Make a motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Seeing none from the board, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Item 9.7, appointments, Region 6 Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Planning Board. We have Salita Cavender and Miss Jody Goodman that are both willing and able to serve. Look for a motion from the board or any other nominations.
I make a motion to approve Salita and Jody.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Item 9.8, appointments, West Georgia Emergency Medical Services Council. Shane Bell and City Chief Jimmy Bearden have agreed and are willing and able to serve, has prior served on the committee, on that board. If we don't have any other nominations, we'd look for a motion from the board.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you, board. Item 9.8, before we turn it over to County Attorney Stacy Blackman, this is standard procedure for the next 3 abandonments. At this time, I'm going to open public hearing and call for comments on the abandonment of Hutchison Ferry Road. At this time, I'll call for any comments. Request a second time, a call for any comments on the abandonment of Hutchison Ferry Road. Seeing none, at this time, we'll close the hearing and we'll call on Stacy Blackman, County Attorney.
Thank you. This is a proposed abandonment of 0.15 acres on Hutchison Ferry Road. It was for the Lyles who donated a portion of their road, for their property for the widening of the road, and this is the excess property that was not needed for that project. So the resolution would authorize the abandonment and to authorize the chairman to dispose of the property. And we've run the notices in the paper and notified the adjoining owners.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Thank you.
All those opposed? Thank you, Stacy. Item 9:10, the abandonment of Wildwood Lane. We're gonna open up public hearing again and call for any comments. Requesting any comments for the abandonment of Wildwood Lane. Request a second time. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. We'll call on Stacy Blackman, County Attorney, for discussion.
Thank you. This, again, was a donation by Miss Imogene Frazier for the widening of a road. We actually did not use her property. We were able to use the property on the other side of the road, so this is abandoning the property that she donated. And just any interest we might have in her property and the sliver that's along her property that wasn't used for the widening of the road.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. And likewise, item 9:11 under that session, we're gonna open public hearing for the abandonment of Clayton Place. This time we'll call for comments. Second request for call for comments in the open public hearing for the abandonment of Clayton Place. If not, we'll close the public hearing. Call on Stacy Blackman again.
On this last one, the Bowens acquired all the property surrounding a portion of Clayton Place, and so it would be .80 acres on Clayton Place that would be abandoned, and the neighbor has consented to the abandonment.
Look for a motion from the board.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion from the board? And seeing none, all those in favor?
Thank
All
you.
those opposed? Thank you, Stacy. This time, we'll go to item 9:12, roofable demolition of building with an IGA. We'll call on Commissioner Lee Powers, District 5.
Chairman, I'm asking for the county to help the city of Rooteville to do the demo of the building beside the town hall. They've contacted me, the council's contacted me and asked us, would we be willing to help them, and we have money in my line item to do it.
Absolutely. Look for a motion from the board.
Make a motion to approve Mr. Powers' line item money for the root demolition.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. I know there's no discussion. Any further comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Hey, George, is that fast enough?
We started late.